Yes, my name is Brian Holden, and I'm the president of the United States Maritime Resource Center, or USMRC for short, and this is my colleague Rick.
Rick Como, Vice President of Training and Simulation.
Shipping is generally known to be one of the most, if not the most highly regulated industry in the world. And within shipping and maritime transport, the movement of oil and gas tends to happen at a much higher standard when it comes to safety.
I think it's a fuel source that should become more popularized out. I think there's a lot of benefits to it, and it certainly balances dependency out. A lot of these ships now that are out there that are using LNG as a fuel for propulsion, it's actually dual-fueled ships. You know, they have the capability of using various types of fuel.
Gas in an atmospheric pressure, an atmospheric temperature, it's a vapor. Mm-hmm. So they cool it down, and typically by cooling it down, they liquefy it. It consolidates. Yeah. And that ability to transport it as a liquid when it's cooler basically allows you to transport larger volumes of it through, for instance, for pipelines or trucks or cylinders.
In different ports around the world are floating production facilities to support LNG export or import. So on the export side, there could be, and there are places in the world that have this capability right now in terms of infrastructure to support export, is a floating liquefaction facility. So instead of being land-based, the liquefaction capability is actually floating. And on the import side, similar type of floating infrastructure to support the regasification process as well. In an offshore situation where the vessel or the floating facility is located several miles from the nearest shoreline, let's say, there's a mooring infrastructure that's in place that also connects it via pipeline to the shore. And then in other cases, those floating infrastructure facilities are actually located right next to land at a marine terminal facility.
Gas is one of those things when it's transported in liquid. Mm-hmm. And the liquid is much safer in a lot of cases than the vapor. Yeah. Vapor is what explodes. Being a liquid natural gas, that's how they transport gas, as a liquid. Mm-hmm. You're able to transport larger amounts of it and do it without vapor, without oxygen involved, so it's a lot safer to transport.
In about the 2005-2006 timeframe, the U.S. was no longer importing LNG, and we started to get into becoming a net exporter of LNG. The impact that had on the terminals was that the terminals were initially designed to receive it, not send it. So there had to be some infrastructure changes to make them more of an exporting terminal. Right now, the biggest one is Cheniere down in Louisiana. They've exported over 30 different shipments just in the last calendar year, and a lot of that's going to the Far East for it. There's a number of other projects right now in that same Gulf area that are changing from import to export terminals for that. They do things at a much higher level of safety than some other cargoes coming in and out. Because it's obviously environmentally better as far as emissions go from vessels that are burning it. There's a lot of characteristics to it that actually are kind of false. They aren't as dangerous as people tend to think they are. So I think it's just educating the public in what they can expect, what transits coming in and out will look like, and just the overall safety that's involved.